Всем привет! Продолжаем прохождение консул. В прошлой серии мы здесь расшифровывали послание его матушки. Теперь нам нужно выйти к остальным гостям. Так, все, да? О, аж 8 очков навыков. Но мне там не хватало эрудиция, либо оккультизм. Ага, вот он. Давай добавим. Пусть будет теперь. Угу. Языкознания тоже не хватает мне. Давай откроем. Ну, одно. Я никуда, не знаю даже куда поставить. Сюда, что ли? Пусть будет на хитрость, пригодится потом. Или оккультизм. Да, вот сюда потом. Пойдем. Так, и посмотреть можно. Допрос. Манипулирование, языкознание, эрудиция, политика. В прошлый раз нам нужно было эрудиция, наверное, чаще всего нужно. Ну давай.
It's time I went back and joined everyone in the small salon.
Так, а... Что-то можно? Понятно, значит туда никак не пройти. Так, мало гостей у нас, да, на первом.
Emily, I must speak to you.
What's the matter, Louis? About last night, I'm guessing.
Sadly, no. Even if I'd like to have, alas. There are more pressing matters. I have news about your sister.
What have you found out?
Look, I've started piecing together the events leading up to my mother's disappearance and your sister's. Did my mother know about your secret?
Yes, even though I belong to the English chapter, her rank in the order gives her access to a good deal of personal information.
It must have been Emma I saw in my vision. I was given to understand that my mother and your sister bonded during their stay.
Ну давай, не будем выдавать.
If mother's really killed her sister, I'd better find her by myself. They say they spent a lot of time together. They got along well.
Oh, really? Do you think your mother liked Duchess Hillsborough?
Of course she did. After all, she's your sister. Well, we'll find them, Emily. Trust me. Should I speak to her about my vision? If what I saw is true, she might want to take revenge.
Даже не знаю, что выбирать. Ну, давай.
Emily, there's something else.
Go on then.
It's about your sister. I don't know what happened exactly, but it's possible that my mother had a go at her.
I know, Louis. I found out that same evening. Well, thanks for not trying to hide it.
What? Why didn't you tell me?
I didn't know if I could trust you. Now I know I can. It seems that your mother tricked Emma. She apparently asked her to hide an important book, so that even she wouldn't know where it was. And then she shot her like a dog to make sure no one would ever find it again.
Да уж.
How did you find out?
Sir Gregory told me on my arrival.
I'm sincerely sorry, Emily.
Thank you, Louis. You're very kind. It means a lot to me. But you do realize your mother will have to accept the consequences of her acts.
There must be an explanation, Emily.
That's what we shall see.
We'll speak about it later, somewhere safe.
Come, Louis. They're waiting for us.
You will pay dearly, Peru. I'm sure you were involved somewhere along the line.
That's right. Pretend you don't know. One piece of advice. Don't travel through France on your way back, or it'll cost you dearly.
Calm now, my friends. Let's calm down. Everyone seems to be a little unnecessarily heated. Don't forget where you are, please.
What's going on here exactly?
Sir Gregory called us together to introduce the last guest.
But hardly had we arrived when he set upon Monsieur Peru.
And who is this charming character?
Manuel Godoy, the Duke of La Alcudia.
He's the head of the Spanish government, Monsieur de Richet. He's the one who, in practice, controls Spain.
How could you dare do such a thing? Dios mío, you are all out of your minds!
Really, Duke Manuel? What made you kick up such a fuss?
What? Have you not heard? Well, let me inform you that yesterday morning at 10:22 a.m. precisely, in the middle of the Place de la Révolution in Paris, by decree of the National Convention which Monsieur Peru works for, King Louis was guillotined.
What?
Oh, no.
The King of France is dead, gentlemen. Our monarchies are in danger. I have said it before.
How dare they?
Oh, dear.
Oh, as if it...
Friends, let us calm down.
Don't pretend to be surprised. He got a fair trial.
Ridiculous! Bastard! He was sentenced to death by 361 votes to 360. You beheaded a king for one vote! Is that your democracy?
What an obnoxious act. Until this, anything was possible. This political coup will have grave consequences.
France is lost.
Gentlemen, please. Let us take a step back a moment.
In the name of holiness. He was the highest representative of God in France, Emily.
Gentlemen, Duchess, we're all among people of reputable company here. We should be able to manage the conflicts of our nations in a respectful and orderly manner.
I fully agree with you, sir.
But
That's enough, sir.
with whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
Louis Maras de Richet.
Are you related to Sarah de Richet?
Sarah is his mother, Duke. Gentlemen, this news affects us all, but I must ask you to remain calm. It's not the first time history has taken us by surprise. Let's ensure that our respective countries are allowed to respond appropriately to this news.
Oh, rest assured. The response will not fall short, my friend.
Good for you. Well, Your Grace, here I was preparing to introduce you as is proper, and you've beaten me to it. I'm delighted that we are all together at last. Our meeting will therefore be able to kick off shortly. I have just a few more little preparations to take care of before you all find out the reason for your presence here. In the meantime, I shall leave you to get to know one another. When you hear the bell, please proceed to the conclave room on my left, behind that door. I'll see you later.
Could you spare a moment, please, sir?
I'm glad you asked. I want to talk to you too. Of course.
I heard about your mother's disappearance.
He looks concerned. I don't know why, but I doubt it's from sympathy alone. Well, let's see what he wants from me.
Any news of her? Have you found her, maybe?
Why? Is there something you particularly wanted from her?
No, not specially.
My questions made him feel uneasy, but he's keeping his emotions under control.
Your mother and I used to often speak together. I have rarely met someone so learned. To tell you the truth, I was about to make a deal with her. Did she tell you about our arrangement?
Of course she did.
Perfect. I'm glad to know it.
Я не знаю,
So,
о чем речь.
how
но-
should we proceed then?
What do you mean?
Oh, come, sir. No point pretending. You know. You obviously have no idea what I'm talking about, do you? You might have come across some old books in her belongings, perhaps?
As my mother's got so many old books, I'm afraid I won't be able to...
Oh, it's easy. You can't mistake this one. It's an ancient grimoire, composed of 7 parts. Each one is closed under lock and key. It was made in such a way that if someone tried to tamper with it, the sheets would be permanently tarnished. If you find it, you mustn't tamper with it. You see?
That's unusual. Unfortunately, that doesn't ring a bell. I'll look again, but I wouldn't get my hopes up. You seem very upset. Is it so important to you, this book?
Well, it's the search of a lifetime. What can I say? Every time I move closer to it, it seems to slip away at the last minute. I was very surprised to learn that your mother had it in her possession. I thought it was with a certain von Borchet in Paris. Do you know him?
Э, Ой, не туда нажал. Где эта вода? Вот это же. Блин.
The
Пусть-
name doesn't mean anything to me, I'm sorry to say.
He's an expert in occult objects and books, and your mother said she knew him. Are you sure his name doesn't ring a bell?
Let me think.
I shan't keep you, Monsieur de Richet.
All right then. Thank you.
I hope that your search will prove successful and bring Sarah back to us soon. I must go now. I'll see you later.
You better go and check out the painting in Lord Mortimer's study.
Ладно.
Honey, I couldn't have hoped for better. Monsieur Bonaparte, may I speak with you a moment?
May we?
What do you think of Duke Godoy?
Well, I'd rather not express any opinion of him.
Why is that?
His reputation is enough for me.
Meaning...
This gentleman enjoys people talking about him for too many reasons. His undeserved titles, more than 10 in just 4 years, and each one more prestigious than the one before.
You don't think he deserves them?
If I had seen him on the battlefield, there might be some doubt. But that is not the case. The Queen would rather not risk losing him, so she consoles him with awards and titles.
So you don't have a very positive opinion?
His coveting French Catalonia does not encourage me to have one.
I understand your point of view. Would you have any more information about the conference Lord Mortimer spoke of?
Nothing at all. Mortimer is very committed to secrecy when it comes to his conferences. But given the presence of Monsieur Peru and ourselves, I think it must concern France to some extent. Otherwise, I doubt he would have invited 3 Frenchmen to his table, huh?
Well, I'll be leaving you now. Shall we meet up again later?
Wait, monsieur. Any news of your mother?
Unfortunately not, no.
I hope to speak with her about my deal before I leave. Let me know if you find her. À plus tard, monsieur.
Hey, these look like pages taken from an ancient encyclopedia. There's a pattern with 5 circles on this chest. So, what did my mother mean by going beyond the nightmare?
Ну тут я не помню, что мы смотрели. Ну
Book of the Mortimer family.
это и все.
No, what have we got here? Well, it looks like a model of a lock. As if Mortimer is fond of complicating things sometimes. Well, I hope I never have to try and unlock it. Let's take a closer look.
Интересно, нужно ли мне это? Ну,
Judging by the shape, I'd say they're Criollo cocoa beans. The chocolate of the Mayas, the rarest of the beans. Some even say they're an aphrodisiac. When a product is in fashion, people attribute all sorts of virtues to it, not to be given to animals.
Ну давай, раз
Dark chocolate beans. Very bitter. They're greatly prized in high society.
Да нет же, вот это по. Ну вряд ли тут отрава будет лежать. Давай возьмем, посмотрим.
Might come in handy.
Так.
A mina bird.
Ну давай покормим.
Sarah DeRiche? Waldo, you know Sarah? What? Repeat that, Waldo. Sarah? What about Sarah? Good God, what's been happening here? Well, Waldo, is your master good? I don't really know what I was expecting.
Ну, просто поговорили с птичкой. Давай посмотрим здесь.
The Nightmare painted by Fuseli in 1781. Ah, this must be what my mother was talking about. Now just need to find out what she meant by go beyond. Hey, looks like it's mounted on rails on each side. It should lift up, I think. There must be a mechanism somewhere. I don't think this book can help me.
Нет, что ли? А что ты даешь? С камерой. Так. О. А ну-ка, педалька какая-то. О, ну естественно, тут сейф.
Aha, I found it. Oh, what on earth is this? A ring lock now? Great. That's all I needed.
Так, ну давай. Осмотреть.
Looks like there's a marker on number 1 on the second roller.
Угу. Но опускать рычаг мы не будем, потому что хитрость недоступна. Почему? Так сложно. Ну, тут крутить нет смысла. Что тут за all?
This painting isn't finished. And it looks like Mortimer probably did it.
Какой
Not bad,
талантливый.
but you can't exactly say it's been done in the style of the period.
Ай, да не книгу.
History of the First Crusades by Pierre Amédée de la Salle. Hey, the dates indicate AL, and it looks like 4,000 years have been added to our calendar. Oh, that counting system again.
Так я нажал все-таки правильно. Ой, ё-моё. Подожди-ка, поставь. Ну-ка еще раз посмотрим. Тут не написано ничего подобного. Подожди-ка, может на картине что-то будет еще? Подсказка.
Hey, there are 2 dates on this painting. 1154 AD and 5154 AL.
Вот, пожалуйста, 51-54. Раз там all везде, можно попробовать. 51-54, давай. попробуем. Так, ну тут один было, я помню, как раз, может оно и подойдет, поэтому. Ну-ка.
Well, I got it wrong. It doesn't matter.
Эх. А я тоже было понадеялся. Ну, давай по книге посмотрим.
History of the First Crusades by Pierre Amédée de la Salle. Hey, the dates indicate AL, and it looks like 4,000 years have been added to our calendar. Oh, that counting system again.
Так, ну, давай подумаем.
The Crusades took place not long after the year 1000. Here all the dates say 5,000 and something. I'm guessing this dating system begins 4,000 years before the calendar that we use. Yet, I'm getting the feeling that there's something else, another small detail, but what is it? The famous call from Pope Gregory VIII in his Audita Tremendi Bull of 5,187. Oh, the crusade where Richard the Lionhearted distinguished himself. It states the first sea blockade of Saint-Jean d'Acre was broken in the 12th month of 5,190 AL, whereas the siege had been going on for 2 years. Or how Louis VII, King of France, eager to be pardoned for the death of thousands of innocent people in the fire of the Church of Vitry, convinces the Pope to authorize him to lead his own crusade. The result? In Germany, a new outburst of violence against the Jewish community, and a monumental fiasco by poor Louis VII, cuckolded by his wife's uncle. The famous call of Pope Urban II. 20 years after the capture of Jerusalem from the Arabs by the Turks, Urban II convened the council. He promises a plenary indulgence to Christians who go and get Jerusalem back from the Turks. The result: the Jewish community on the road to Jerusalem found itself persecuted for no reason. 12,000 Jews would perish, not to mention the massacre of Ma'ara, where acts of cannibalism by Frankish crusaders were reported, or even the capture of Jerusalem, where approximately 30,000 were left dead. It signaled the beginning of centuries of wars of religion. Open sesame.
Ох, сколько тут лутаться.
Let's see what you've been hiding, Lord Murderer. Weakness of the Human Psyche by Guillaume Tremor. He says, it is possible to drill an idea into someone by constant daily repetition until the mind gives in.
Вот так вот мы и учим,
And
да?
goes on, there are hundreds of good ways to live life, but you only need one to convince the masses that it's the only one possible.
Вот так мы
The author
постоянно
isn't
тоже
letting any
повторяем,
ethical
повторяем,
principles get in his
чтобы
way, is he?
выучить. Эх, политику все-таки надо было качать, да?
This shows the forces present in America.
Это и все, да? Понятно.
This is my mother's writing. I've picked up her trail. What is she up to? Obviously, she wants to lure Mortimer somewhere, but where? The only clue she's left for Mortimer is this stone sword. It must be intentional. It looks like a decorative sword, like from a statue, for example. And judging by the state of it, I'm guessing it's been left outside for a long time. I have absolutely got to find out where it came from.
Угу. Посмотрим, посмотрим. Так. Якорцы. Слабость показывает. Так, ладно, мы... А, еще здесь не посмотрели. Так, что тут?
It shows the forces present in Europe. It's clear that France is surrounded by her enemies. However, a large number has been underlined in bold. 26 million. I know what it is. It's an estimation of my country's population. All our neighbors have far fewer inhabitants.
Интересненько. А посмотрим, Мортимер прям со всеми разговаривает. Со всеми нациями. Ой, сколько тут смотреть. Юнион Банк. Знакомое название. Что это? Опять мед? Давай опять слушаем. Отлично, как раз я хотел.
A chest with a motif representing the alchemical symbol of fire.
Ну, мне кажется, нет. Ничего такого.
Am I seeing things, or is that an actual von Leeuwenhoek microscope? Incredible. Mortimer really is at the cutting edge of science. Even at the Order, it took us ages to get one of those. Carmelite water. That must be for writing the homing pigeon messages. Some goat skulls, chicken legs. Now we all know what that's for. I'm a little surprised at Mortimer. I didn't seem as the type to be organizing little pagan parties, invoking occult powers, and dancing naked under the full moon. I'm more used to seeing cheap charms like this sold by charlatans in Pré Saint-Gervais. 3 rusty old nails. They're about 20 centimeters long. Look, a pack of tarot cards. Has he been reading the cards? Mortimer? That would surprise me. It is a typical draw on a line that answers a specific question. To the left, temperance, that announces a reward for one who patiently waits before taking any action. And in the middle, a chariot, which symbolizes triumph and business success. To the right, the emperor evokes a future full of power and stability. These are feathers. Pigeon, probably. Strange. I don't recognize the alphabet. I wonder where the pictograms are from. It isn't Egyptian or Hebrew. There are 2 inscriptions on the sides as well as on the top.
На клин
No way to
напись
know what's
похоже.
underneath. Absolutely no idea what it's for, but I find this cube fascinating.
Только вот чьи интересно.
Looks like obsidian or onyx. Must weigh a ton.
Чей-то язык клинопись. Не помню уже. Так, а ну-ка,
A
скелетик.
skeleton by the name of Gustav, if the plaque on the plinth is anything to go by. Mortimer's given a name to his anatomy skeleton. That's morbid. Oh,
Строение человеческого тела. Ну-ка, это где сейчас открылось? Наука.
right
плюс
hand
1.
is missing. Something strange about this table.
Опять -1. Ну
What
давай.
kind of experiments does Mortimer carry out here? It's a dissection table. So Mortimer does autopsies here on his desert island. But who is he doing autopsies on then?
Ладно. У него устойчивость набор наука. Так, ну ладно. Мы вроде бы тут уже все смотрели. А нет, тут это еще, да?
Preservation using formaldehyde. Just as disgusting as ever.
Что там, не пойму, мозг, что ли? Так отражает, непонятно. Похоже, да. Так, ну тогда все, идем.
Oh shit. How am I gonna get out of here now?
Что, такой же получается код, наверное? Давай попробуем. Ой, блин. Так, 1. 1. Раз, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1.
This looks like the same mechanism as the one on the other side. Looks like the same as the one on the other side. Whoa, whoa. If the grid closes a bit more every time I enter a wrong date, I'd better not mess up again. I thought about the inversion of the numbers. That's not it. What am I missing here?
Так, код нужен, да? Я тут все посмотрел.
An iron mask. I wonder who it's for.
Что-то мне она напоминает этого. Маска железная. Цезаря, по-моему, Юлия Цезаря.
Look, a pack of tarot cards. Has he been reading the cards? Mortimer? That would surprise me.
Я не уверен. Тут вот есть числа, да? 14. Блин, не видно.
It is a typical draw on a line that answers a specific question. To the left, temperance, that announces a reward for one who patiently waits before taking any action. And in the middle, the chariot, which symbolizes triumph and business success. To the right, the emperor evokes a future full of power and stability. A table of alchemical elements.
So, Lord Mortimer also studies alchemy? It seems like he's interested in everything.
This looks like the same mechanism as the one on the other side. These cylinders rotate on the same central axis, so when I enter a number on one side, it corresponds to another one on the other side.
Нужно, получается, такой же код составить, как с той стороны было бы вот это 1191. Это, получается, тут должен быть 1. Ой, блин. Сейчас попробую погадать, может получится. В общем, получилось. Не знаю, как там, 6466.
Well, better not dwell on it then.
Интересно, прям никого тут не было до сих пор, да? Я так предполагаю, просто эти цифры друг против друга должны были находиться. 6 напротив единицы с другой стороны. Как-то так. Ну, что могу поделать? Не получилось у Веллера узнать. Вот это надо сейчас. Это мне пригодится.
This note is about a meeting with Lord Mortimer. There's no doubt about it. Alright, I need to find out where the sword that came with it's from in order to find Mother.
Так, ну на этом завершим. Спасибо за просмотр.